A mother's not supposed to bury their child.
September 15, 2012, my son Jared Francis was murdered.
It never gets easy to deal with the pain.
I can't get through this alone.
Well, just think about losing a child and knowing that the child will never come back again. Why did I start Helping Mothers Heal initiative? 2012, we had our annual conference on the plight of the African American male. And it was at the end of that conference that a young mother was concerned that there were services for young boys in the city. There are services for all kinds of people going through different situations. She said, but I lost 3 sons, and who's going to help me?
I can't get through this alone. Hi, my name is Martha Bullock, and my son was murdered in New Orleans, April the 23rd, 2014, gun violence. And when this happened, it really destroyed my life. I did not know what I was going to do. I didn't know how to feel, how to react. My body was actually numb when I got the call when I was at work. I raced to the scene. I was not able to see my child. It was just something that just really destroyed me. Here today, a year later, I still have not looked at the autopsy report. I have not looked at the police report because I don't want to know what happened and how he was murdered. But I know deep down in my heart that when I am ready to see this, the Lord will reveal that to me. Only thing that I can do is just pray each and every day to ask the Lord to give me some peace so that way I can go on with my life. I have 2 other kids that I have to raise, but this is something that has torn me apart. No mother would ever want to go through what I've been through. And I've been praying and asking the Lord, how can I get through this? What are some of the people that can help me that are actually going through what I'm going through? I got something that popped on my phone and it says, Helping Mothers Heal. I went to the class because I wanted to know what it was all about. As soon as I walked through that door, I felt compassion. I felt the pain that the other mothers felt. A year later, I am still in the class. The class has actually helped me out. It actually has helped me get my life back on track because I was really, really lost.
Hi, my name is Kay Clemens. My son is Mohammed Clobio Charlo, and I lost him at 14 years of age on April the 23rd, 2009. It's interesting because you would think 5 years later, you know, it's easier to deal with, but it's not. Openly dealing with the pain, this is what I'm here to talk to you about. It never gets easy to deal with the pain. It's especially more difficult when your son dies from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I don't know why. I'm thinking I probably never will. One of the things that I have experienced with respect to people in my family and people I was friends with for decades is that they have basically disappeared. And then I came to realize that that's what people do all the time when somebody dies, regardless as to how they die. I'm thinking sometimes people think that there's an acceptable way to lose your child, as if there is such a thing. But they clearly have never lost a child if that's what they think. I stumbled upon Helping Mothers Heal, reading an article in the newspaper. That was a year ago. And the best thing that I ever did in my life was showing up on that Thursday and coming to this group. I have never, ever, ever felt more welcome in any place in my life. We're talking about how do you express the pain? How do you just say out loud, you know, how horrible this feels? There are no words. but there are people who care, and there are people who can help. And that's what Watson does. That's what Reverend Pat does. That's what we do every Thursday. Is we may not have the answers, but we do know how to help. And we hug and we kiss. And we share a meal. And you feel okay. You know, you feel okay. And then you get to realize that you have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's basically what you gotta keep doing. Putting one foot in front of the other. There's no solutions. There's no. Sometimes there just are no answers. There just aren't any answers. I don't know why my son is dead. I don't know. But what I do know is that I loved him. I still love him. He is the breath that I take each and every day. And forever and for always. He is my son, and I have never, ever, ever ceased to be proud of him, regardless as to how he died. He is my son. I'm his mother, and nobody can ever, ever take that away.
I'm Margaret Washington, and I am to talk to you a little bit about anger. It is real. You bet that I know that anger is real. On October 1st, 2012, I lost my daughter. Have you ever lost something very special? Something that you cherished and you were unable to find it? I bet you were angry. Well, just think about losing a child and knowing that the child will never come back again. Yes, I felt anger toward those who had killed my baby. I felt anger toward her for being in a place that she should not have been. And most of all, I felt anger for myself. What did I do wrong? Why? Why my child? Somebody please tell me. The anger was truly real. I was sick. I felt like I was going to die. I was hopeless. I just couldn't go from one day to the other. No one could tell me that I was not dreaming. I felt hopeless. I felt that I would never come out of the dream state that I was in. The anger ate me up. Yes, anger is truly real. But I want to tell you that if you have faith and if you have a strong support system that I have found with Helping Mothers Heal, then we can truly work on your anger as they have worked on mine. No, I'm no longer angry, for I have learned to forgive. Tell me this, I was asked. Do you miss your baby? The thought of the question really made me angry. What do you mean, do I miss my baby? Why would someone ask me that? Of course I miss my baby. I can't believe that someone asked me that question. That's not something that I wanted to hear. What I would like to hear, I'm sorry for your loss. Why don't you talk to me about what you're feeling? Let's go over some memories of Jared. Let's talk about the positive things. But don't ask me, do I miss my baby? Of course I miss Jared. Of course I miss the times I spent with my son. We don't want to hear things that'll bring that hurt back. If you can't empower me, uplift me, and encourage me, then don't ask something I don't want to hear.
Everybody can't handle my pain. On October the 7th, 1986, I gave birth to a 9-pound, 12-ounce boy, Ivory Maurice Manning. On November 14, 1992, that's when my pain started. My son died at an early age of 9 years old. I was not at home when he died. I was called to come home because my son was already taken to the hospital due to a seizure, and he died. But I didn't know how true it was because of the seizures that my son suffered with. He would normally go into a coma, and because family was never there, they could never deal with the fact that, okay, he's in a coma. He's not dead. But on that particular Saturday morning, when I walked in that emergency room and looked at my child on that table and realized that was it for me. On this new road that I have taken to get over this pain, it took me 20 years. But with the help of the good Lord and the Helping Mothers Heal, I am now able to talk about my child and talk about his death. Because for 20 years, because family didn't understand the pain. Family didn't believe that I could still be in the pain that I was in for 20 years.
My name is Willie J. Crane, or as my son would call me, Evangelist Willie Crane. My son, David James Crane, known by his friends as Worm, was murdered on August 12, 2012. It seems like on this journey, as if it just happened yesterday, even though it has been 2 years. He was 34 years old when he was murdered, and then I have missed, in December of this year will be 3 birthdays that I have missed without him. There's a void, a big hole in my heart that I didn't think I would get past. But because of my walk with God and my faith in God, I am able to talk about this today without breaking down. My son was the youngest son. I had 2 sons, and he was the youngest one. And I always never thought, you see this on TV, but you never think it'll happen to you. And even when I would see other mothers lose their sons on TV, I would say, Lord, have mercy on them, never knowing that one day I would be the one who lost a child. God has prepared me for bigger things, and I know that, but at that time, I did not know that. But today I can say God has prepared me for this journey. He has given me everything I need to go on this journey. I was attending school, seminary school, when my son passed. And since that time, I have graduated, and I am moving forward. I'm pressing on for a higher call, as Paul talked about in the epistles. God gives us things in our life, and we never understand why it happens or what made someone do something so drastic like this. Because when people take something from you, they don't realize how many people that affects.
This loss is like losing a body part or 2. I lost my only son on May the 11th of 2011, approximately 11:01 p.m. I was with my wonderful son 45 minutes prior to his death. 6 minutes later, unheard of, great loss. is a piece of your body part that you would never thought you would lose in life. 3/4 of my heart is gone now. The loss is very deep. His wonderful smile I'll never have opportunity to see. His wonderful fragrance of his body I'll never be able to smell. Just to hear his voice singing out, "Mother, Mommy, old lady, my sweet wonderful thing." I'll never be able to hear those words again. I yearn for him every day as I continue to fight and wait on an answer. I'm still waiting. I only have now the memories, the love, the opportunities, the planning, the future to apply upon his 3 children he left behind. A beautiful girl, 2 handsome sons. And every time I look into their eyes, see the smiles or the laughter or singing out grandmother, I can hear his sweet voice.
What I don't want to hear, God took him. He's in a better place. You still crying? Your child been dead 19, 20 years now. God took the good son. Do you miss him? Call me if you need anything. It was his time. You're going to be all right. You're going to worry yourself to death. Those are the things that I don't want to hear. And you wouldn't understand if you haven't walked in my shoes.
Getting used to the new normal. The new normal. Something that you never will get used to, but you do try to live with it. Losing a loved one, especially one of your children, to me is the hardest thing I've ever had to face in my life. And most times, it always was said years ago that children bear the parents instead of parents bearing the children. So this has been extremely difficult, but life does go on and you learn to cope, but you miss that person constantly.
Catch it, check it, change it. That's something that Helping Mothers Heal program has taught us when we, in the course of our day, have bad thoughts. What you do is you recognize that it's a bad thought. You put the thought in check and you change the way that you're thinking. If it means for you to change your mind thought, or if it means for you to remove yourself from the area that you're in, or whatever you're doing, you need to catch it, check it, and change it. Because if you don't, it will destroy you. Well, my son passed away in 2009, which was my only son. I just didn't want to live no more after that. I figured that, well, he was gone, and it's not like I didn't have anybody else to live for. I still had a daughter, I still have grandchildren. But nobody knows what it's like to lose a child. You know, it was just the losing of my child. That was my child. God gave me 2 children. He didn't give me 1. He gave me 2. And I felt like I had to live the rest of my life with 1 child gone. And I felt like it wasn't fair. Catch it, check it, change it helped me because I was on my way out here. I was going to check out. I hadn't already figured out how I was going to do it, when I was going to do it. And there was no stopping me, I thought.
The mom's energies begin to surface when there's some resolve to some of their cases. So that's the reason we have to talk to the police officers. That's the reason they need resolve to their cases, such that they can really turn their pain into purpose.